Hey, I have no idea if this is really going to work, but my time is insane. And I've been wanting to do a life with Lynda and haven't had time. So I am attempting to do this while I'm driving. Oh my goodness, I don't even know where to start. um, let's just say back when I went to England in the end of May, beginning of June, right before I went to England, my mom went to the hospital. She was in the hospital for a while, uh, came out while I was there, and then went back in. She was out for like 3 days. And they found she had like a pulmonary embolism and stuff. And they actually, I think she went in before, came out, then went back in while I was gone. I don't know. But it was all in that time period. So she has a pulmonary embolism. They put her on Eliquis in order to help dissolve the embolism in her lungs. Okay, there we go. There were other issues. That's the main one that I can recall at this moment. Then she goes back in the hospital, and my apologies for the stuff flying in front. That's the stuff hanging from my rearview mirror. Anyway, she goes back to the hospital because she was having some more issues, internal bleeding and stuff. And she was in the hospital for, I don't know, a week or so. And she comes back out. And then she was, I think, out for just 3 days, if that, something like that. And then back in the hospital. And let's rewind because I have this weird superstition thing happening now. Before the first batch, before I went to England, we had been talking about how she has trouble remembering for food. She will say that she's going to make something and then forget she was cooking it. I've had to try to save so many of her pans because of how much stuff has been cooked onto it. And so before I went to England, the plan was I was going to get a bunch of stuff and I was going to make a bunch of meals, bring them to her the Tuesday before I was leaving. And we were having a tasting party. Isabel, myself, and my mom, we were all going to just hang out in her apartment and have her try all the different foods. That way I could get an idea of what she liked. So I made all the stuff that weekend, and then instead of doing the tasting party, the Monday before we were going to do it, she ends up in the hospital. Okay. Fast forward. This time she's in the hospital, out for a couple of days, back in. And then she's going through all the different stuff. They're finding out that they can't have her on Eliquis or any kind of blood thinner because any kind of blood thinner she's on, which she desperately needs because she's got stents and it's clogged up like a traffic jam and has the pulmonary embolism. Whenever she's on anything, including aspirin at this point, then she has more of internal bleeding. They said that she had Hades syndrome, and basically it is the fact that she has aortic stenosis, clogged up like crazy. The valve in her heart isn't working properly, and so it's possible that the blood, when it's going through the heart, is getting damaged. And so that's what causes her hemoglobin to drop and platelet issues and all this stuff. So we thought she was getting better. She was having trouble getting up out of the bed because, you know, she's been laying there so much and hasn't been well and had gotten down to 94 pounds. And it looked like she was about to get released. And we had been pushing for her to go to a rehab so they could help her regain some confidence and independence and that kind of thing. And so Isabel and I went and toured a place that's right by her apartment. We really liked the people. We thought it was great. We got the card. We went to visit my mom on a Tuesday and gave the person at the hospital the card because they had a bed for her. And that hospital person said, okay, we're going to start putting it all through right now so she can get in there, that the way insurance works, that once you start the process, you have 5 days to get in there. Otherwise, it all gets canceled out. You have to start over. Okay, not a problem. We think she's good to go. So that very evening, she goes downhill, and it was not looking good. So she ends up having to stay in the hospital another week. But at this point, it looks like they might have finally found some of the issues. She's starting to get better. She's able to get out of the bed and walk. I went there and visited, and we walked a lap in the hospital together. And so it looked like things were getting better. Insurance said they declined her to go to rehab. And so we fought it. And I told the hospital I'm refusing to pick her up from the hospital because every time we take her from the hospital, she ends up back in the hospital in a couple of days. So we fought, the hospital fought, they helped, and so we got her into a rehab place. So that was, I believe, July 7th, she went into rehab. And the way that the insurance works, you have, I think they said 20 days is what they will cover. And then you're out if they don't decide you need to stay. Well, by the time she got into rehab, she was doing better with the walking and the moving and stuff like that. And so everybody at the rehab is asking, why is she in rehab? She can do everything. And I told them because every time she goes home, stuff gets bad and she ends up back in the hospital. Social worker there said what she needs is a caregiver. We're trying to figure out how to do that because I have no money. And quite frankly, I'm really tired. And Isabel's been helping me, which is great, but I feel horrible that I'm putting so much on Isabel now because she's stepping up to help shoulder the weight that is making me buckle. So at the rehab place, my mom keeps telling me I need to come get her clothes because I need to wash them. And finally, I asked her this one time, I'm like, do they not have a way to wash your clothes there? And she told me, yes, they do, but she told them I would do her laundry. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I almost lost it. She sent me texts telling me that she understands that I like to help other people, but I need to help my mother now. And it's time for me to help her and all this stuff. And oh my gosh, I almost exploded because I'm trying to juggle everything. And I am the only family member other than Isabel who is doing anything at all for her. And that just, oh my gosh, I wanted to explode. But I told her that was not okay. I told her that, yes, I do like to help people, but where I'm busy right now is my job. Because, you know, I don't just sit there doing nothing all day long. I'm actually actively doing things. And I schedule a lot. And all these just sudden things, it makes it really, really hard. Anyway, we moved past that. I did a nice boundary. That's the word, boundary. I told her that if I had to do her laundry, because she had a bunch of it at this point, then on Friday, I will come pick it up, take it, wash it, and bring it back. But that if I'm doing that, I can't stay and visit as well because I don't have time to go back and forth and do all that stuff. That if I'm driving there twice in the same day, that's all the time I have. And I felt crappy for it, but I have finite time. And it's not just for her, it's true because I have just a lot I'm trying to get done. And again, I'm really flipping tired. So on that Friday, when I showed up, I was going to tell you about the botched waffles and all that stuff, but I don't even care at this point. If you want to know, ask. Anyway, I show up Friday, and by Friday, I mean this past Friday. Not even a week. And the social worker's there. She's like, oh, I'm so glad you're here. And She pulled me aside and let me know that the insurance said that my mom had to be out by the 21st, which was Monday. And I'm like, okay, so the insurance has decided she no longer needs to be in rehab. Got it. While my mom's been in the hospital and in rehab, Isabel and I have been cleaning her apartment, other than the main living room area, because we didn't go through her papers. We never got around to that. Oh, and I forgot to mention, we brought her bird to the house, and eventually her parakeet, Pretty One, died. And then later the same week, we're doing 2 emergency vet visits for Zoe, Isabel's cat, and Zoe passed. So within a couple of days of each other, because it was a Sunday for Pretty One to pass, and Wednesday is when Zoe passed. And that Wednesday, I was driving to the apartment to get stuff to bring to her at rehab. So it's been a lot. Anyway, well, I'm going to interrupt myself here to tell you that since Zoe passed, Osiris did go to the vet and get his checkup, and he's perfectly healthy, and he's great. And even the vet couldn't believe his age because she said he looks wonderful. So, yay, there's the good news. Okay, so Friday. Wow, I can't believe it hasn't even been a week. Anyway, Friday, I'm told from the social worker she has to get out of rehab. I go into the room. I let my mom know this. I said, let's see if you can get out on Sunday instead of Monday, because Monday I had stuff that I had to do in the afternoon, evening, 4:30. I had a meeting to go to because I'm on the homeless task force. And I was finally going to be able to make a meeting so I can be heard. Anyway, we had it set for her to get out on Sunday. I get all of her laundry, I take it home, I do her laundry while I'm trying to get some work done. Isabel comes with me. When the laundry's done, we do a bunch of grocery shopping so we can put groceries into her house. I got a whole lot of ingredients so I can make all of those healthy meals for her. So then we could have stuff in her freezer and in her refrigerator. So when we get her out on Sunday, everything's set up. I then cooked all evening Friday night. I cooked all day Saturday. And then Sunday morning, I woke up and made a whole bunch of these protein pancakes that I have basically created for her by taking a basic non-dairy, there's no milk involved, waffle mix. And I do half flour and half banana flavored Huel. So it's got a lot of nutrients in it. So I made her a whole bunch of pancakes that way that I then wrapped up and put that in her refrigerator at her house. So she would have plenty of food. And then Isabel and I picked her up after putting the stuff in her apartment. We went to rehab, got her checked out, went to Jason's Deli, had some lunch, went to PetSmart, got her 2 new birds, and then from there, brought her back to her apartment, got everything set up. Her air conditioning was broken, so I had to call maintenance, get that stuff taken care of. By the time I got home Sunday night, I am flipping exhausted. Monday, she starts texting me, I can't find this, I can't find that. All right, she's a little confused, but she's happy she's got the birds. Yay. Tuesday, it got a little stranger. Yesterday, she sends me this. Well, I talked to her Tuesday night because I didn't want her to think we just dropped her off and ran, and was coordinating Isabel going out there on Wednesday, because Wednesday is the day that I had scheduled a couple of weeks ago to try to do the self-care thing. I had a massage scheduled, and my plan had been to just relax for the day. Take it leisurely, get the massage, take a bath, just relax. I should have known better. But so Tuesday night, I talked to her in order to fill her in or make sure it's okay about having Isabel come out. She said she had to take MARTA mobility in the morning to go get lab work done, and that Isabel would need to come later. I'm like, that's fine. We'll shoot for 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. She said, that's good. So yesterday morning, I get a text from my mom, all kinds of confusing, telling me Isabel can come whenever she wants because she missed the bus. Why did she miss the bus? Because she went to the bathroom and forgot how to get back into bed and sat on the toilet, and I'm going back to sleep now. Okay. So The way it was worded, it was very confusing, but the I'm going back to sleep now, I thought that meant she went to bed. So after the massage, I came back, I had some lunch. I brought Isabel over there so we didn't have to pay Lyft. I was going to drop her off, but Isabel was getting anxious. And I said, how about I just sit here and wait? And then you let me know, that everything's okay when you get in there. Well, Isabel gets in there and texts me and tells me that she's in the bathroom. Okay. And then I find out, I'm like heading out, and I find out Isabel says she's stuck on the toilet. I'm like, what? So I'm fielding phone calls. My mom can't get off the toilet. Turns out I have no idea if she ever got off the toilet from the text she had sent me in the morning. It is like 2:30 in the afternoon. The birds are still covered. She hasn't eaten. That makes me think she's been on there a long time. She's got 2 different walkers and a cane in there, can't get up. Isabel is almost in tears. I can hear it through the phone because she went down. She's talking to the office, trying to figure out what to do. I told her to go back up into the apartment and tell my mom that she's calling medical to come get her off the toilet. So the fire department has to come out there to lift my mom off the toilet and get her into a chair. Okay. I'm now fielding calls, trying to find out how we can get something installed on the toilet so it will be higher and have rails so she doesn't have to go as low, thinking maybe this will help. But then Isabel texts me and says she's afraid to leave my mom alone because she's been trying to stand up for the past 20 minutes and can't get up. When the fire department was there, they suggested she go to the hospital, and my mom refused. Isabel didn't push because she didn't feel like she could push. So things keep getting weirder. Isabel's afraid to leave, but doesn't want to be there anymore. Chris is going there to pick up Isabel. So I call and tell my mom she has to go to the hospital because if she can't stand up, she can't be at home. And that the worst thing for her is to just be trapped in a chair. So she needs to go to the hospital because when we saw her Sunday, she had no real problem getting in and out of the car, sitting in the booth at Jason's Deli or any of that. So I don't even know where this came from. While I'm talking to my mom about it, she then tells me, well, it's like my right side just doesn't want to work. And I told her that is not good. That's a big warning sign. So you have to go to the hospital. So I said, since Isabel's there right now, how about tell her what you want packed so you have everything you need? Oh, goodness. So Chris was outside waiting for Isabel while Isabel's in there waiting for the ambulance and got her all loaded up. She's at the hospital. Now I am driving to her apartment because she needed something that was not put in the bag because nobody could figure out what she was asking for. And I finally got it out of her because she just kept saying her fancy flowers. And it turned out she wanted this one little bag. Got it. So I'm going there now to get the bag, to bring it to her at the hospital so I can then make sure the hospital knows as of Saturday, they can't call me. Not unless they have WhatsApp, they can't call me because I'm not going to be in the country. So I'm going to talk to them about who to contact while I'm gone. After I do all that, I have to go back to the apartment to get the birds to bring them back to our house because we're not going to just leave them in the apartment with no one to check on them. Oh my gosh, I'm tired. I haven't packed. I haven't graded. I have 3 classes that are ending and I am behind in grading. I'm overwhelmed. There's a lot to do and I have no idea what's coming. When I talked to the doctor last night, I reminded him about the other stuff from the previous day, and I recommended he really take a look because he was looking at outdated stuff. I reminded him about the pulmonary embolism, and he's like, oh, yeah, she's on blood thinner for that. And I'm like, no, she is not. They had to take her off all the blood thinners because she kept having internal bleeding. Now the doctor is saying that she's got fluid on her lungs. They're worried about how high the blood pressure was with the valve in her heart, which the previous day, they said something needed to be done for the valve in her heart. However, they had decided to get her out of the hospital and they would do it as outpatient. And that's the lab work she was just getting done this week, was to see the cardiologist about the valve stuff. There you go. I think that's it. I'm exhausted, and I am almost to my mom's apartment now for step one of today because I don't think it's a good idea to grab the birds right now and then have them sit in the car while I'm at the hospital. So I'm going to have to do this run twice. And when I get home, I am not leaving the house until I am heading off to go to the airport to Costa Rica. So tomorrow I'm not going anywhere. I haven't even packed. I cannot tell you how badly I want to get to Costa Rica. I want to just blink and already be there. And this is a lot. And of course, I have that guilt feeling of I shouldn't be leaving because with how quickly this is escalating, I don't know. I just don't know. So, yeah, I know. Odd life with Lynda. Massive, super fast ramp because I'm very overwhelmed, so I'm getting faster and faster while I'm driving the entire time. But that's it. Right now I'm pulling into the complex, and so, yeah, I think that's a very good time to end this life with Lynda. And hopefully, yeah, I think I'm going to try to do one while I'm in Costa Rica so it can be, look, I'm breathing and that kind of thing. But wow, and just wow. So that is it. Peace out. So I have done the hospital visit, and I just want to cry. This is hard. I feel like part of my brain is in denial, and the other part is being very logical. At the apartment complex, I talked with the manager, let her know how things were, told her that, like so clinically. I'm like, I think she's winding down. I know she's super stubborn, but, is it looking good? And I talked to her about if she does not come back, about seeing if anyone in the apartment complex would like to take the birds. And I've been very logical. I'm in there visiting my mom, and she's just like zoning out and just fading away. And well, the good news is on the board, they actually wrote dementia or eval for dementia. So it really hasn't been my imagination, and other people are noticing. So yay. And if I'm honest, no, she was not a good mom. But she's the only mom I have. The only parent I have. And I'm scared. And I don't know what to do. Because I feel like I'm horrible because I'm still going on the trip. And I just want to try to ignore everything and pretend everything away. But you can't pretend everything away. Because reality is reality. And I don't like it. So I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. And trying to look forward to the trip that I've been looking forward to for so long. I made sure to talk to the doctor. Their main concern is the valve in her heart now. They're going to do some kind of test to check on how the embolism is doing because she's got fluid in the lungs. And I made sure they had the number for my uncle and for my sister and told them that come Saturday, they're going to have to just call them because I can't answer the phone because I'm not going to be here. And that made me feel like a really shitty daughter. But I want to go. But I don't know if I just saw her for the last time. And I don't like this. And it's annoying. And I want to just turn everything off. And I'm really good at just putting up a nice little wall and ignoring everything. And it's getting hard. And it's overflowing. And I can't deal with it. But then I feel stupid for crying.
And I'm so angry at my sister because she should be doing something. I texted my cousin and told her, and her first thing is that she's going to try to come down and see her. She can't take a lot of time off work because, bills, but she understood what I was saying, and so she's making an effort. And my stupid sister doesn't give a flying anything. It just makes me so angry. Oh, I don't like it at all. And what makes it worse is the amount of stress put on me by my mom. And I know Pax is going to be relieved when she's gone because he'll see his mom not being as stressed. And that makes me feel bad, and I can't get the smell out of my nose. Everybody smells like that, but I don't like it. And I am not having a good day. But I thought it better to go ahead and get this over with, give myself a little bit of time to just feel, even though I don't want to, so that I can stuff everything back down and get back to the business as usual. So I can be very pragmatic and get the birds and get them set up and do all the grading, do my work. Hopefully I can get a walk and just listen to my book and ignore everything. That would be helpful. I don't like this day. I don't like this day. Ugh. Ugh, I want the smell to go away from my nose. And I'm aware it's probably not in my nose, it's probably just in my brain, but that doesn't help. I just can't make it go away, and I don't like it. So anyway, I guess that's it. How's this for life with Lynda Day?